Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Right, so the VFR 800 is now back, as you can see. Yesterday I took the train down to my buddy's place down in the Borders and rode it back up and got it MOT'd. It's now running. It runs okay, and basically there were just various problems with the electrics. The wiring was bad, there was kind of corroded connectors, some of which I'd found, but the guy that was troubleshooting it found kind of various extra kind of problems, extra corroded connectors and what have you, and just various bits and pieces, and he's basically put all that right and got it running. So now when you turn the ignition key, you get the sound from the pump. So if I put that in there and I go like that, and if you listen for it, you can hear it prime the fuel injection system. So that's it. So it does run. Kind of feels a little bit rough, but so maybe you need to troubleshoot it a little bit further. But I mean, it basically runs okay and it goes okay once you got up to speed. It's a little bit jerky around town. I think that's maybe a problem with the throttle. The throttle's never been quite right on this bike. It's kind of a bit sticky. It's actually a lot better now. I think the guy that fixed it also did a bit of work on the throttle and other bits and pieces as well. Excuse me. So that's it running. It did pass the MOT. I put it in for an MOT yesterday and it passed, but there was an advisory, and the advisory was that the brakes need to be bled because the levers are still a bit spongy. If you look at this, there's a bit too much kind of give in that. It's not too bad, it's not catastrophic, but also notice that when you push it a few times, if you go pump, 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 pump like that, it kind of gets firmer, and that indicates that there's air in there, because what that's doing is that's like compressing the air. Same at the front. This one's kind of, again, it's not too bad, it's actually reasonable, but again, if you pump it a few times like that, you can feel it gets a bit firmer, which again suggests that there's some air in the front brakes. Now, if you've been following my channel, you'll know that I replaced these calipers. These are second-hand calipers from Sports Car Breakers in Newbridge, which I got for 65 quid immediately after the bike failed its MOT back in, I can't remember when it was, March, early March, late February, somewhere around there. So I got these new calipers, new second-hand calipers, fitted them myself, and then bled the brakes as well as I was able to. But the problem is, because they're linked brakes, they're a lot more complicated to bleed, because you've got multiple bleed nipples. You've also got things like this. This is I think they call that the proportional control valve or something. And then there are other bits and pieces. I'm trying to think. There's like another sort of control unit somewhere around the back that controls the fluid going between the back and front brakes. I don't know where it is. I think it's around here somewhere. I'm gonna have to find that and have a bash at bleeding it, and see the back one as well. You've got two hoses going down to the back there, and I'm not sure how many bleed nipples there are on the rear caliper. I think there's probably more than one, because there are two pipes going there. Anyway, you've got two pipes, there are going to be two bleed nipples, I think, generally speaking. So, and then there's also this kind of gubbins on the side here. You've got this what do they call it? Try to think of it. Secondary master cylinder. That pumps fluid to the back brake via all this stuff here, all this pipe work. So basically it's a lot more complicated, but I will get it done. So that's the next job. So at least it's running anyway. And then once I've got the brakes bled and stuff, well, then I'll get the fairing back on, and that'll be that. Anyway, thanks very much for watching.